Hat, sunglasses, Pepsi, notes, sources, thick skin, check. You already know. Let's go. Golden Blooded is a college football YouTube channel for entertainment. So make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and let's get into our next college football video. Don't forget to send gear to represent your team. The address is P.O. Box 360, Liberty, South Carolina 29657. Yes, we are still doing that. Just wanted to put that reminder in there because I haven't reminded anybody here recently. Well, I told y'all several weeks ago that Kevin Warren was a finalist as far as the position for the Bears, the president and CEO of operations. He was a finalist. He went in person for the interview. So there was a high likelihood that he would be the new president of the Bears and CEO of operations. Well, today it has been announced Kevin Warren, the former Big Ten commissioner, well, I guess he's not technically former yet. Well, he might be. I don't know. I don't know how that hiring and leaving goes. Big Ten commissioner, former Big Ten commissioner Kevin Warren is the president and CEO of operations for the Chicago Bears. Big Ten fans have mixed emotions. Kevin Warren has done some good for the Big Ten, but he's also done some bad for the Big Ten. The big thing that really pops out and is a glaring issue with Kevin Warren as far as the bad for the Big Ten was that 2020 season. Couldn't make up his mind. Very wishy-washy. No, we're not going to have a season. We're going to do it in the spring. No, we're going to start several weeks late and shrink our schedule down to like 6, 7 games, maybe 8 games. I don't know. He shrunk the season because he couldn't make up his mind. So the Big Ten ended up with a very shrunken season that didn't make much sense. But there's been some good with this as well. So remember, the Big Ten does have 14 members and is about to go to 16 members because of Kevin Warren. They picked up Nebraska, they picked up Maryland, and now they're about to pick up USC and UCLA. But they should pick up Oregon and Washington. The Big Ten has a great TV deal coming up with Fox. They're adding USC and UCLA. They're strong as a conference. So there is some good and some bad with Kevin Warren. So I'm interested to hear from my Big Ten subscribers. How do you feel about Kevin Warren moving on to the NFL as the Bears president and CEO of operations? I know a lot of Big Ten fans are actually celebrating. They don't like the guy. And some Big Ten fans are not worried, but just like, oh man, he was a good one. So I want to know which side of the fence you, whoever you are, if you're a Big Ten fan, what side of the fence you fall on. Are you glad that he's leaving? Are you kind of sad that he's leaving? Moving forward, this could present some big-time changes for the Big Ten. And I think this is a good thing. I know Kevin Warren has done some good things for the Big Ten. I think he's leaving the Big Ten in a good position. And if they get the right person, the Big Ten could take an even bigger step forward under the new leadership. It just depends on who they get. The biggest thing that I want to focus on is Oregon and Washington. Remember, they did apply to the Big Ten. That happened. Who did they meet with? Well, the Nike owner and some of the representatives of Oregon and Washington met with Kevin Warren. So it was Kevin Warren that made that decision. I was like, no, we really don't need you right now. We're good. We'll give you a call later if we do need you. So maybe this new leadership, whoever it may be, actually likes Oregon and Washington in the Big Ten sooner rather than later. To me, that actually made more sense than USC and UCLA. But you know what? You already got USC and UCLA. Now you need to add Oregon and Washington. Those two brands most certainly add value to the Big Ten. Those are must-gets. They fit every criteria in the Big Ten. So why the Big Ten would not add Oregon and Washington would absolutely, if that didn't happen, that would blow my mind. That would absolutely blow my mind. So the biggest thing that could happen under this new leadership is the Big Ten goes ahead and accepts Oregon and Washington into the Big Ten. I'm sure their applications are still valid. All they have to do is get the votes and get the okay, and boom, they're in the Big Ten. So I'm really looking forward to see who they get in this new leadership role and to see if they revisit that Oregon and Washington issue. So just to prove this point, let's look at the final ESPN power rankings. See how the Big Ten is doing right now and how they could be doing, number one, once they get USC and UCLA, and in the future, if they got Oregon and Washington. So here are ESPN's final power rankings. Number one, of course, Georgia. Number two, TCU. That surprised me. They actually respected TCU for getting to the national championship, even though they got absolutely blasted. Respect to you, ESPN, for putting them at number two. I agree with that. Number three, Michigan. Number four, Ohio State. Number five, Alabama. Number six, Tennessee. Number 7, Penn State, double-digit win season. Number 8, Washington. I tried to tell you that Washington was going to be a good team this year. Michael Penix Jr. is that good of a quarterback that transferred to Washington. Number 9, Tulane. Number 10, Florida State. Watch out for the Seminoles in 2023, by the way. Number 11, Utah. Number 12, LSU. Number 13, USC. Number 14, Kansas State. Number 15, Clemson. Number 16, Oregon. Number 17, Oregon State. Number 18, Notre Dame. Number 19, Mississippi State. Number 20, Troy. Number 21, UCLA. Number 22, South Carolina. Number 23, Pitt. Number 24, Minnesota. And number 25, Fresno State. So this year, the SEC finished with 6 teams in the top 25 in ESPN's final power rankings. And that was Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, LSU, and don't forget about Mississippi State and South Carolina finishing in the bottom half of the top 25. That makes 6. You throw in Oklahoma and Texas, well, they didn't finish in the top 25 in ESPN's final power rankings, so that wouldn't have had any numbers. What about the Big Ten? Well, they have Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, and Minnesota, so that's 4. But if USC and UCLA would have been a Big Ten member this year, well, they both finished in the top 25 as far as the ESPN power rankings go. That would have bumped the number up from 4 to 6. And let's say Washington and Oregon would have been members of the Big Ten. They also finished in ESPN's final top 25 in power rankings. That would have bumped their number up from 4 all the way up to 8. So yes, I do think that Washington and Oregon would make the Big Ten stronger. I think they would add value. I think they could actually add to the TV deal. I don't think it's necessary to give them partial revenue share to start out with. I think they bring in the value to get full revenue share. They bring in a lot of TV ratings. Both of those teams have massive, massive fan bases. Oregon has a national fan base. Washington has a more regional fan base, but it is massive as well. And honestly, you're sticking with the mantra of the north side of the country. I think the thing that really surprised everybody, not only did the Big Ten go way west by getting UCLA and USC, but that was actually south of where they normally go. So I'm going to be honest with you. I'm okay with USC and UCLA going to the Big Ten, but I would have preferred Oregon and Washington. I think that would have made much more sense as it relates to the Big Ten. Or just do them all together. Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA. That's what makes the most sense. So we'll see if this new leadership really likes Oregon and Washington and decides to bring them in sooner rather than later, because I do think eventually, that Oregon and Washington will be members of the Big Ten. But for now, who does the Big Ten go after? Are they going to go after some unconventional names, or are they going to go after some solid names? Who will the Big Ten get as their new commissioner? Because it is official. Kevin Warren is the new president and CEO of operations for the Chicago Bears. I think this is a good thing for the Big Ten. I think it presents a lot of opportunities because Kevin Warren was the major roadblock keeping Washington and Oregon out of the Big Ten. And you can't forget about 2020. His indecisiveness led to a shrunk schedule and lost revenue. Don't forget about that. Lost revenue for the Big Ten. So hopefully they get a leader that makes decisions quickly, that's decisive, that knows what's best for the Big Ten, and we could see the Big Ten take an even bigger step forward under the new leadership. So y'all let me know in the comment section. Number 1, are you surprised that Kevin Warren is now the new president and CEO of operations of the Chicago Bears, even though I tried to tell you? Number 2, do you think that this is good or bad for the Big Ten? Number 3, under this new leadership, do you think that the Big Ten could actually add Oregon and Washington sooner rather than later? That's all I got for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.